Hey, Chief.
Hello.
How are you?
Sensational.
Yeah? How's Latin America been? How do you like it?
Fucking freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck? I looked at my suitcase when I got here, and I was thinking, why have I packed the suitcase to fucking go to Dubai for a month?
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking hell, it's raining. What the fuck? It's freezing cold. And let me tell you this, the appeal of South America is pretty fucking minimal when it's cold.
Yeah, it is.
You need the sun, man.
You want tropical stuff.
Yeah, tropical fucking, I want people in shorts and shit.
Yeah. So you packed a lot of shorts and...
Well, let's just say I didn't pack for whatever weather it is.
Yeah. How was Mexico? Love the
Mexico
Instagram
was great.
picture.
Yeah, it was. There's kind of a strange atmosphere there because they've just had the earthquake and stuff. But it's always great to be there. It's one of my favourite places to go and play, and yeah, it's great. Great. Yeah.
Tell me about the album, how long it took you to do it, and how you felt about this third.
Well,
new experience.
it took about 3 years, more or less. It was recorded mostly in Belfast and London, and it's produced by a guy called David Holmes.
Who's he?
Well, indeed, who is he? He's a genius, what he is. He's I think he's known for film soundtracks more than, but he's a DJ and stuff. He's fucking unbelievable. And I'd say it's the best record I've ever made. Certainly my favourite. The one I've played the most. It's the best sounding record I've made. And it was written entirely from scratch in the studio. There were no songs before I went in. And it's pretty far out, man.
Yeah. How do you distinguish this quality of sound from the other two records? Because like the other two records are just simply amazing too, but you are the one who made them. But in that sense, you get here, you see and hear the finished product, and you say, "This is my best sounding record." How do you distinguish that?
I guess because I did it from nothing. So the first day in the studio, there was no songs, no ideas, nothing at all. And the songs were born out of conversations and ideas and let's try this and let's do that. So usually I would sit at home for a year or two or whatever and write songs. And then when it comes to going into the studio, you'd pick the best 10 or 12 or whatever it is and make a record, see what happens. With this one, you know, I was playing instruments I didn't really know I could play. I was, you know, coming up with melodies that I wouldn't really... That's not what people will hear on the record is not really what I'm known for.
Why?
For instance,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any acoustic guitar on it at all.
Why not?
Well, indeed. I don't know. That was David. He would say, every time I would do something and he would stop me and say, "Yeah, it sounds like Oasis." And I'd be like, "Wow, that good?" And he'd say, "No, try something different." And then I'd fuck around for another 2 hours and then he'd say, "It's starting to sound like High Flying Birds now." And I'd be like, "Wow, equally as good though, right?" And he would say, "Yeah, but you've done all that. You're the best at that. You're the best in the world at doing that. Try something different." So that was writing songs on keyboards, for instance. Writing songs on a mellotron. You know, writing a song around a tiny little guitar riff that lasted 10 tenths of a second.
Wow.
And building it all around that. And kind of letting yourself go and just following your instincts musically and lyrically. So I feel that I'm at a creative peak. I think that everything about it is, the artwork is amazing. See that fucking lovely lady on there?
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
No.
That's my wife.
All right.
That's my wife. And
How long have you guys been together, if you don't mind me
18
asking?
years.
All
Yeah.
right.
18 years.
Wow.
She says 17, but I think it's 18.
Okay. I say 17 and she says it's 16.
She says, why do we always add a year? We make ourselves feel better about
I
it.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Which it kind of makes us feel like we've accomplished something.
18 years and counting, and it feels like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you look in love, and you look amazing
Well,
on the Instagram.
well, thank you very much. Well, the reason she's on that album cover is that picture was taken, not that picture. We'd taken a picture from a magazine, a National Geographic magazine from the 50s, right?
Right.
And it was a woman in Havana in Cuba, like that. We couldn't get to clear the picture, and it was right fucking nearly 2 days before it had to be delivered. And I was at my kitchen table, and I got the phone call saying we can't use the picture. And I was like, fuck. What are we going to do? It's like, well, I don't know. If I've got any ideas, we have to reshoot the picture. And I was like, who are we going to find that looks as beautiful as a fucking woman from the 50s in Havana? And I just went, hang on a second. My wife was at the kitchen table, and I said, what are you doing tomorrow? And she went, nothing, why? And I went, do you fancy being on the album cover? And she looked at it and she went, can I keep the clothes? And I went, yeah, you can keep the clothes. She said, I'll do it. And I went, it's about time you fucking contributed to this fucking relationship. So
where was that picture taken?
Oh, we shot it in a basement flat on Wimpole Street in London.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't glamorous, let me tell you. It was on a wet fucking Tuesday afternoon. It didn't take that long, took a couple of hours maybe.
Yeah.
But all this guy that done this artwork, he's my postman.
Your postman?
Yeah, he's not even a professional artist.
How does a postman end up working on the...
He ends up working on my records because I believe in people. And I'd seen his stuff. And I said, you want to do my album artwork? And he was like, whoa, I don't know. And I was like, man, you're a fucking genius. And he is a genius. And we developed this idea, and then it kept getting better and better and better and better. And he handed me, and every time he handed me a thing, I'd say, that's the fucking greatest cover of all time. And then 2 weeks later, he'd say, what about this? And I'd say, wow, that's the greatest cover of all time. So all the single sleeves and all the artwork's fucking amazing. And this guy is called Gareth Halliday, and he now has a website, and you should go on there and check his artwork out. He's fucking dude, man.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. That sounds great. Let me go back to the album and the influence of hip-hop on this album. Is it true that there was a little bit of your listening?
Well, there's a little bit of Kanye in the first track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Why Kanye?
Because we happened to be in the studio on the day that he released Fade, right? And we were talking about Kanye and listening to Fade. And then I've always liked that track, The Power. And we listened to it in the studio. And David said, you should do a track like that. That'd be easy. And I was like, fucking hell, I don't know. And we started it. There it was. There it is. First track of the album.
Yeah. Where is it all going in terms of music industry? Where do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think people will be buying records by the end of this decade. I think it'll all be streaming.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I'm not sure people will be paying for music anymore. But I try to stay outside the music business. I'm not really involved in it. I don't give a shit what goes on there, to be honest. Yeah. I'm not signed to any record label. I don't have a record deal. So I do my own thing, and could do it in a slightly haphazard kind of pop art way where anything goes, and then come up with stuff like that, and it's amazing.
Do you feel privileged about that? About being able to do your own thing?
Do I feel privileged? No, I don't feel privileged, because I worked fucking hard enough in Oasis to get to this point where when I left Oasis and I sat down and thought about what I wanted to do, the thought of going to and getting a record deal just didn't appeal to me at all. I thought, I've earned enough money now to run my own record label, so what the fuck am I going to... I mean, I know it's on Universal Air because they've hired it off me.
Right.
But I wouldn't have a record deal with them. No offence.
Why not?
It just doesn't suit me. Then I've got to deal with idiots who, they want to know what you're up to. If I'd have delivered that record to a major record label, you know what they'd have done? They'd have given me back and said, can you not write something like Wonderwall? Or Don't Look Back in Anger?
You're sure they would have told you that? I mean...
Well, maybe not. All right, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. But I just take it out of the equation. Record labels are... They're really, to be honest, they're only ever a bank anyway. They're only what you go to borrow money from.
That's true.
And even then, you don't own your own rights to your songs. So what the fuck? Why would you fucking bother,
But they look so much stronger than ever now. Like you see the major labels nowadays, and you see what was happening back in the 90s, and you see them just getting really fucking strong again, man.
Well, they don't... It's either nostalgia or meaningless pop music. with that fucking awful American influence to it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why all pop music sounds the same, because it's all written by the same 6 fucking guys. Because nobody writes their own songs anymore. There's literally not one person like me left in the music business. Everybody co-writes with everybody else.
I know.
It's a fucking disgrace. So you don't really get to know the artists that you're into. You don't really get to know what they're about, because they're singing someone else's fucking words. That's not for me. That's not for me.
Is the album gonna die in this process of going to streaming?
I think for someone like me it won't, because people just consider me an album artist. So it's different. Justin Bieber, are people really interested in his fucking albums, or are they interested in his singles?
The singles.
They're interested in his singles.
Right.
So it's a different mindset. When people look at that beautiful person there, they think, man makes albums. You know, when they look at Justin Bieber, they think he does rap or whatever it is he does. You know, but I think I won't stop making records anyway. Or maybe I will.
No, you shouldn't.
No, I mean albums though. I don't know.
But you've done your share of
drugs,
drugs and singles.
Yeah.
You know, like electronica stuff. Chemical Brothers back in the 90s. That was fun.
Yeah. Well, I like. I don't go out of my way to work with other people, but in the case of the Chemical Brothers, they asked, you know, and they said, "Do you want to get involved and write?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." And I often think I'd be asked by more people, but nobody really asks me. But which is cool. I don't give a fuck. But I tend to work with friends and Weller, Johnny Marr, and
Paul,
Goldie, and Chemical Brothers, and all that. But Gorillaz. It's not something I chase, but it's nice to do it, because it's nice to see other people in the studio and how they work. You know what I mean? And you can see if you can learn anything.
When you worked with Paul Weller on this one?
Well, he played on the first single, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is he like a hero?
He's my neighbour.
Not only, okay.
Yeah. We've been neighbours for the last 7, 8, 9 years. He used to live directly across the street. I could see into his kitchen. And now he's moved around the corner. And we've been friends. He was a hero when I was growing up. I had posters of him on my wall. But we're past all that now. You know, we're past all that. Yeah. So, but he's still a fucking dude. He's the one person's respect and opinion that you require. You know what I mean? And he'll be the first. You know, he was the first person to hear this record, and he's the first person on the phone saying, "Fucking Holy Mountain, let me." He called me and said, "Have you finished it yet?" And I went, "No, we could still do a bit of work." And he said, "Please let me play on it." And I was like, "Go on then." And he plays a little bit of organ in the second verse and in the outro. But he's a dude, man. He's me. I'd say me and him and Johnny Marr, kind of the last of the dying breed of people who just write their own fucking shit. Been in huge big bands, you know what I mean? Seminal bands like the Jam and the Smiths and Oasis, and
right.
And are still doing it. You know,
Manchester continues to be this incredible influence for the entire world. You come from Manchester. You could tell me a little bit about why this impact on the entire world for over 50 years. What was it about you guys?
Well, I haven't lived there for a very long time, so I wouldn't try and now bullshit you about what's going on now. But I can tell you what it was like when I was growing up. It was a great place to be, because it had great. If you were interested in music, it was a great place to be, because it was very small. There was a small scene. Seemingly all the bands were fucking amazing when I was growing up. And you got to see them early on, and then they would become like world famous. And there's lots of bars and the Hacienda and great DJs, and there's a big student campus. So there's just a big vibe.
Was it in the water, I guess? I mean, was it in the
No,
food?
well, funny you should mention water, because it fucking rains a lot. So you do tend to spend a lot of time indoors. Now, what are you going to do indoors if you're in any way inquisitive, you're going to learn to play an instrument, because you can't fucking... Which is why, you know, hot countries don't tend to produce that great music, because everyone's outside in fucking shorts trying to get off with birds, aren't they? Like the Italians, for instance. You know, they're too busy chatting up women on scooters and all that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Why would you learn to play the guitar? You got to be inside to do that.
That's funny.
Whereas in Manchester, it's like you spend a lot of time inside. But you know, there are bands now like Cortines and Blossoms and yeah, quite a few. I mean, when I go back there, I have a great time. You know, I got to see my fucking football club, the greatest football club in the world, and hang out, have a good time, and then all my kids are in London, so that pretty much means I'm in London.
Is rock and roll coming back to being mainstream sometime again?
I don't think so. I don't hear it. I hear a lot of people talking about it, about rock and roll. I don't actually hear a lot of rock and roll. I hear a lot of shouting, like the Foo Fighters, fucking screaming and shouting. I hear a lot of politics, like Green Day. I don't hear a great deal of it. There are some good tunes, but rock and roll, but what is it anyway? Do you know what I mean? And who is it? Who is it who's taking fucking ownership of it? Rock and roll is maybe a state of mind anyway. You know what I mean?
I know. I
So
spoke to Zane Lowe about a month ago,
All right.
and he said the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people bang on about rock and roll. They haven't got a clue what it is. You know, I don't even know what it is. You know, I know I've played my part in it. You know, but it's not about a Les Paul and a Marshall stack. Or anybody can own a fucking Marshall stack and a Les Paul. But it's what's in here that counts, I think. And it's an attitude, I think. But in musical terms, I mean, like guitar music, rock music, just doesn't have a presence anymore. You know.
How important is a wife in the creation of the songs?
A wife?
Your wife. In the creation of
Well,
like, the second album, Chasing Yesterday.
Well, I suppose if I write a piece of music and it suggests something to me, that it might be about a girl, you know, or it might be romantic in some way, or it might be something like that. I suppose I've got those feelings for my missus. But, you know, we don't like to talk about that.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, I don't know. Let's not talk about that. Because all the songs they could be about your missus, right? You know,
right,
so,
right.
And they're not all about Sarah, but I guess they're about the feelings that I have for Sarah. Maybe.
Yeah. Just one last question about that. Are you the Riverman? Who's the Riverman? I've always wondered.
It's a guy who lives in a river. I don't know.
That's it?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't like talking about the meaning of my songs. Because then it spoils it, doesn't it? It spoils it for the listener. You know, when I read interviews with people and they're very quick to tell you exactly what their music is about, I just think, I don't want I'm not interested in that, you know. I thought the song was about me, and now you're telling me it's about your dog. The fuck? So I tend not to get involved in that. But needless to say, if there's a woman involved in the song, there's that little beauty there.
Does she come with you on tour?
She does from time to time. She's coming next week because it's her birthday next week, and she's coming to Sao Paulo to celebrate her birthday because she's never been to Brazil, and she's coming, and Bono is very excited that he's going to get to throw her a party, and we are going to have a great time. But she comes, yeah, she's been on this U2 bit across Europe. Yeah. I don't really... It's not really a place for wives and kids, because there's a lot of hanging around. There's a lot of this, what I do, there's a lot of fucking around, and they're just kind of making a mess in the room.
25 years into being a musician, a rock star, touring, does it still get as crazy as it did back in the 90s?
No way. No fucking way. It couldn't.
Why not?
Because you wouldn't be able to handle it. You know, I would think nothing of staying up for a couple of days and in those couple of days still do the gigs. Can't do that now. You know, I physically it's too demanding. You can only do it when you're in your 20s and you have no fear, and you don't get the fear, and you don't get hangovers, and you fucking smoke and you drink and you take drugs and you fucking going crazy berserk and still doing the work. Comes a point where the work starts to suffer. So you have a choice to make. It's kind of like, do I want to carry on? Drugs ultimately are fucking boring, right? They're boring. The work is not boring. The work is amazing.
And it's hard.
Well,
the planes, the airports.
The trick is to make it look easy. All the hard work goes on behind the scenes. Like when I get up on stage, if I feel like I'm having to try hard, then I don't like it. I do all the trying and the practice behind the curtain. When I go on stage, I like to look like I'm just fucking effortless, which it is, So, but yeah, I mean, I guess to come up with an album from scratch, okay, on paper it's like fucking wow, But if you're into it and it's your thing, then it isn't. It's a challenge and it's great and I fucking love it. I love the work is the most important thing to me in my life. Everything is secondary to the work. I only put my wife and family on a par with the work. They're not more important or less important. They're the same.
But is it hard to sit down and say, okay, let's go on album number 3?
Well, no. I can honestly sit here and say that it was frustrating for about a year and a half because I didn't feel it was going anywhere. And then once I started to write the songs, it was all very quick. But I don't have a problem with it. I don't, I write so many fucking songs. If I were to scrap it tonight and just say I'm not putting it out because of some bizarre fucking reason, I've got 2 albums worth of material that I've written this year. All I've got to do is kind of knock them into shape. So I'm a fucking machine. I'm like Terminator. It's like, this record won't be my last record. I will be back, you know what I mean? And I'll do something completely different next time. So I don't know where I'm going to go after this. But it's what I enjoy doing.
Now, you too. What's it been like to tour with them?
They're fucking brilliant. As you can probably imagine. However you could imagine it, that's how it is. It's that good. It's so much fun. We went out for lunch yesterday. It lasted 6 hours. We were drinking tequila and fucking, there's a DJ at lunch. I don't know what the fuck. And I'm always in this slightly dishevelled, hungover state. Because there's a lot of Irish people on the road, right? Honestly, that's fucking hardcore.
I can imagine.
It's fucking hardcore. There's never a dull moment, let's put it that way. There's always phones always going, where are you? What are you doing? Come on, we're going up to such and such a place. And their crew are worse than they are. Bono goes there, he's the fucking party animal. The people that are around them, serious fucking people, man.
Yeah, we were watching this Instagram picture of Bono yesterday at a club, and one of our friends who sings was like, I couldn't possibly do that shit, and wake up the next morning, and it was like, how does he pull it off, man?
Well, it's a magic trick. It's unbelievable. It's, but that's what we do.
Yeah. I'm going to ask this question because, we love you and we love Oasis, man, and I'm just not going to let it pass. What's with the thing with the brother, man? You guys we're such a historic landmark together. You were fucking huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you guys love each other very much. So
oh, really?
I do.
Okay.
I try to believe that from the bottom of my heart.
Oh.
But if it's different, you can say otherwise. But
what is your question?
Are you guys ever gonna get back together, man?
No.
Come on. Oh, shit.
No.
Come on, Noel.
No. It's done.
Why not?
Okay.
Like, you could make millions of dollars.
I don't need fucking millions of dollars, right? Let me explain it to you. Are you two married?
Yes.
Okay.
We are.
So let's just say, right, you have an epic fucking fallout.
Right.
Okay. And your relationship ends. And one of you slightly goes insane and is like, publicly behaving like a moron, right? Would you go on holiday with that person again?
Probably not.
Well, there you go. Then there's your answer. So.
Okay.
And in a world of ordinary people trying to soar like an eagle, we can't be hanging out with the common pigeons. There's nothing to learn.
Okay. Nothing to learn whatsoever. Are you sure? 100%.
I'm fucking 1,000% positive that I know all I need to know about Oasis. I don't need to know any more. I'm not learning anything. I love playing those songs. Do you know why I love playing them? Because I fucking wrote all of them. Nobody was there in the room when I was deciding the direction of the band. No one. So I love playing those songs, and they mean a great deal to me, and they're about my youth, and I'm sometimes transported back when I'm singing Half the World Away to my bedsit in Manchester when I'm writing it and thinking, wow, 20 years later you're in a stadium with 70,000 people singing it, and you think, fucking hell, wow, what a timeless piece of music that I came up with. And that'll do for me. I don't want to go through it again. There's nothing to learn. There's nothing to see. This is better.
And we look forward so much to listening to this on November 24th. And I thank you so very much for the time. It's been great, Chief.
It's been a fucking pleasure. And you are welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Gracias por la compañía. Recuerde comunicarse conmigo a través de @TheMusicPimp en diferentes redes sociales. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Ahí estoy. El Bilingual Podcast llega a usted con el patrocinio de Pinacord,